Hey, Graffiti King here with marketing lessons from some crafty potters. I'm talking about people who make pottery. And you might see them selling them in boutiques or at arts and craft shows or farmers markets. It's kind of an interesting craft, and it very much is a craft. It's an art, and it is a way for somebody to make a living as an artist, doing something that is kind of a fun expression. Now, the act of learning how to be a potter is a little bit more nuts and bolts. One guy told me that in college, he had to throw like a ton of clay, literally 2,000 pounds of clay. And there's a whole process of, I don't know, kneading the clay, like kneading it like dough and making it ready to throw, and then putting it on a wheel and using the right amount of water. And there's lots of technique, or what one guy called craft. That is the technical ability to do the things it takes to make a cup or a plate. But what happened was I interviewed four people many years ago, and each of them had found a niche. So what I'm talking about are four people, four working artists who were all in the same field. But once they had figured out, the nuts and bolts of the doing of it, then they had to figure out how to make a living. And each of them had their own niche, and they were making enough money. I don't know if they were rich, but they had houses and they had studios, and they were able to, be their own bosses. And it was very interesting. One guy he made cups. I think he made, I don't know if it was 1,000 or 10,000 a year. It was some incredible number. Another was a woman, and she made sets of dishes. And she had her own signature style. Another guy made more artistic, like wall type pieces, ceramic hangings, if you will. And they were pretty interesting. And another guy made very elaborate vases, large vases, 3, 4, 5 feet tall. And they were very expensive. It was like $1,000 per unit. And one of the guys said to me, he says, "You've got to find something the customer wants. And then you have to sell lots of it." So each of these four working potters had done so. And they had come to this realization on their own. They knew each other, but I didn't talk to them in a group. I went to each of their home studios or, workspaces. It was just an interesting, observation from real life, how people really not, marketing students had figured it out for themselves. They learned a craft that they wanted to pursue as a livelihood, and then each of them found their way to satisfying the marketplace. And there's lots of other things, including production and pricing and all the tax structure that has to occur. But again, the takeaway was you can do what you want as a profession if you can figure out how to reach a market in enough numbers or large enough dollar amounts that you can support yourself. So even something like pottery or professional ceramicists, I'm not sure what the word is, they have to satisfy the marketplace just like everybody else. So that's all for now. Click on the links under the message, and you can get our books on $1,000,000 product creation and marketing manipulation, which is understanding the emotional triggers that make people buy. In the case of the potters, a big thing is that, this is a handmade cup. I know the guy who made this. The woman who made our dishes at our wedding, lives on a farm in Maryland, and she's, got goats and ducks. And you see what I'm saying? Like, one of the things these people marketed was a human connection with their product. I know the artist sort of thing. So that's a little bit of insider status, it's superiority, ego, etc. Lots of emotional triggers even at play in something as simple as a handmade cup. Click on the link under the message. Get our books on marketing. They will help you understand what it is you have to do to get the customer to purchase your product or services.